Hey, this is Mark from Newfangled. And today I'm talking about something that ultimately gets back to marketing but doesn't start there. I've been just very interested in economic cycles and how money systems work for whatever reason over the past couple of years. And there's a lot to talk about and think about there, but one thing that struck me as an overlap between what seems to be some pretty stable and reliable financial advice in the marketing world has to do with dollar cost averaging. So in this book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, which is a fantastic little book. It's not too big. It's pretty little, maybe 300 pages. And it's a dense 300 pages. Like it should be 300 pages, right? It's not one of these books that has 20 good pages and 280 pages of fluff. But the point he ultimately gets to is that the best financial strategy from his perspective, and he's not alone, is dollar cost averaging, and dollar cost averaging in low cost index funds. And so what that means is dollar cost averaging is you say, okay, I'm going to put 20% of my income or whatever you want every month into, say, a low-cost index fund, and I'll explain what that is in a second. And you do that every single month. If the market's really high, you put in 20%. If the market is rock bottom, you put in 20%. If everyone's terrified, you put in 20%. If everyone's excited, you put in 20%. You just do that every month, no matter what, and basically ignore the market. Just ignore it. And his point, and he backs it up with a great deal of very specific and understandable data, his point is that's going to ultimately yield the best results over a long period of time. And he references Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's partner in Berkshire Hathaway. Charlie Munger said that if low-cost index funds existed, when he got into the investment game, he probably wouldn't have gotten into it because all of the big gains that could be found by discovering a company that was severely undervalued, that then you invest then and then you sell when they get up to a proper valuation. So those have all been ferreted out. Like there aren't really hardly any of those anymore, and when they show up, it's sort of a fluke accident. And playing the game of specific investing is just not for mere mortals. and he said even he himself wouldn't do it today. He'd just do dollar cost averaging in a low cost index fund. A low cost index fund is something that you don't need a broker or anything like that. Like Vanguard has them, Schwab has them, lots of different organizations have them, and it's an index fund. Oftentimes is a fund of the entire market, so it's a sampling of the whole market. And it, moves in variable rates, not very exciting, day in, day out, month in, month out. And it costs almost nothing. Like the transaction fees and management fees, like it's like less than 1%, I believe, of a fee that you pay to get into it. Whereas if you wanted to pay like a financial advisor or something, you'd pay a huge amount of money just for them to do that. And Munger's point is that financial advisors even, really don't know what they're doing and can't beat the market. And you're going to beat them even with dollar cost averaging on low cost index funds. To marketing. What struck me is that this dollar cost averaging idea is exactly how it works with marketing, right? When you're really busy, you market. When you're really slow, you market. You say, okay, we're going to dedicate this amount of energy, this amount of revenue to marketing. We're going to apply this amount of effort week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, quarter in, whatever it is, consistently, always, and to make sure that we're always keeping the pipeline running. And that is exactly how it works. It's exactly how it works. The people who really struggle with marketing are the ones who only get to it when times are hard. And at the moment, times are hard for a lot of people. And it doesn't really work that way. Now, any time is a good time to start, in finance or marketing, right? And today is always the best day to start. But to really see success, you want to keep applying that effort no matter what. And the highs and the lows, when you're super busy, when you're super slow, when you have a lot of cash, when you don't have a lot of cash, you just keep on applying the same effort to your marketing. I spoke with the executive director of a really prominent organization of digital agencies recently. And I asked, what were they seeing? And they said exactly this. And I hadn't yet thought about the dollar cost averaging idea. They said exactly this. They said, the firms who just like take marketing seriously, and that's like a core value of the organization, those firms, it takes so much longer for a downturn to hit them, and they pull out of the downturn so much faster because they've got a base, they've got a foundation, they've got an audience that knows and trusts them and listens to them and relies on them. They're familiar, they're exposed. They've been out there being genuinely helpful and educational for a long period of time and slowly built that great audience that's a mesh of referral networks and the flywheel gets spinning and all good things happen. So it's not as if marketing responsibly and not excessively, just responsibly, it makes you immune from a downturn. It's just that like a cold, you don't get as sick as the next person. That's basically the idea. So anyway, thanks for bearing with me through a little finance talk, and I hope the analogy is helpful. Thank you.